Bitchin' intro music.
Testing.
I see empty seats up there.
What is this about?
What's going on?
What is this
What's going
about?
on?
Did you pay for your ticket?
Is this sold out?
All right, that was rhetorical.
Guys, we're so delighted to have you. Thank you guys for taking the time to do this today. So this group obviously knows incredibly well everything that you've done, but I just want to share a little bit about your bio and what you guys are bringing in terms of major skills to this conversation today. So you're, of course, a Grammy Award-winning rock band based right here in beautiful Nashville. You are one of the most in-demand live rock acts of the generation, of, let's be frank, every generation, all of our generations.
Like that.
And you've sold over 1 million tickets worldwide. I know, kind of impressive when you hear it read
Is
back
that
to
true?
you.
Is that
We
was it
did.
true? Collective like that.
I think-
all
It's
together.
got to be true.
I looked it up
It's
this
got to
morning.
be.
It's
It
true.
was on Wikipedia.
Cite your sources.
It was, exactly. So guys, just to get us started today, would you guys mind just introducing yourselves and telling us what you do within the band?
Also looked that one up this morning.
You did.
Good, I forgot myself. I'm Jake. I'm a guitarist.
I'm Daniel. I'm the drummer.
And I'm Sam. I do bass and keys or whatever needs to be taken care of.
Facilitated.
And I'm Josh, and I play the vocals.
That's amazing, guys. So we'd love to hear a little bit about your journey as a band, and how did you guys get to where you are today? Loaded question.
Yeah, we start with that
exactly.
one?
Start with this off.
This is what you call opening a can of worms, I think.
You know, we'll start in the beginning. You see, the beginning, Gunungaga, the great nothingness.
Yes, there you go.
No, it's interesting. I
Really?
mean, it depends on which one of us you ask that we sort of get an origin story. But you know, it's sort of. I mean, it's interesting. It always starts with the ethos of beginning with arts and music, and it was like we all sort of grew up in a I say musically bohemia, yeah, really sort of a musically and artistically fluid environment. So it was like films and. It wasn't just music either, it was sort of conducive to everything. So it was like film, and it was literature and music and sort of philosophy, and it was sort of free form. It's the same with Daniel. We were sort of drawn together at some point, and that's sort of where it started, this like-mindedness, and it certainly helps being within the confines of that together as a sort of a collective, because we kind of share those influences, and that language becomes a sort of form of communication among all of us, and that's really where it began, and music was just sort of what happened, I suppose.
I think no matter what, Jake was going to play guitar forever.
I'd be poor in the streets,
he
was probably
always
without
did.
these guys.
He always
Yeah.
did. So then Josh would come
Exactly.
out and start singing on
You
it.
should really do something with this guitar, Jake. That's what I said, He had no self-esteem with the thing. He'd been playing
But
with it
enter-
since he
True.
was
enter
crawling
Josh.
over it.
I'm a shy boy.
And then Jake
Yeah, the
started,
shy boy.
Jake started poaching drummers from jazz band in high school.
That one.
And yeah,
Poaching them. That's
Poaching
a good
them.
use of word.
he
Actually,
was
I
hunting them in the
stealing
wild.
them
Jake is a hunter.
for the
that's what
greater
he does.
cause. And then I was forcefully made to play bass. And then
Against his will.
And then when Daniel joined the band, then we were off and running. And then it was like, yes, this is Greta Van Fleet.
for the record, I was not poached.
No,
No.
Just hunted.
he went voluntarily.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, but I mean, in terms of this sort of environment, it's interesting to consider that, a boy with a guitar and a dream, turned into something like this.
Oh, well.
That's pretty incredible.
Is that
So
the thesis?
it can be
of your-
done.
Your book?
it can be done.
And then started the craziest summer of our
Of our
lives.
lives, ever.
That's amazing. And I think the message, it can be done, is of course really important today and what we're talking about. So we'd love to just know a little bit. So you guys wake up, you had a show the last night, or you've got a show tonight. What's the day like
We
for
do?
you guys? No, you don't.
Shit.
So what's a typical day like for you guys?
I think it's all at this point pretty well tailored to each individual person. At the beginning, we were all going through the same exact schedule, but now we kind of figured out, I want to be at the venue at noon. Daniel, you're the first one.
I
at
am the
venue.
first one. Yeah.
He's always the first, Daniel.
Daniel was the first one today, I will
Yeah,
admit.
see? Prime example. Yeah, but I don't know. I like to get into the venue like maybe 2 hours or so before going on stage, because I feel like there is an energy in a place like that. I feel like it can be a little overwhelming if I'm there too long. I start to get inside my head, and so if I can just distract myself, in a way that's peaceful and conducive to
It's escapism.
getting the
I actually go in and
What's
get the whole
wrong with
venue set up for
escapism?
him.
I actually really enjoy going out, like stealing a runner, like the van drivers, and
Not driving, of course.
abducting them. No, but then we go out.
Poaching.
We go out to a
abducting.
we go out to a
That'll come
park. We go out to a park
What it's all
because I
about.
like to immerse myself in nature, because on the road you never really get that. It's city to city to city, a lot of concrete. So I like to be out where the trees are really tall and I feel like I'm part of the global system for a little bit.
Yeah, you can actually go a week or some without even seeing the sunshine sometimes, because you're playing the show and then you get to the bus and then you go to the next to the next hotel and then you get up and you get into the venue, and it's just sort of like you haven't even seen the sunshine. You have to go outside to make sure it's still there sometimes. It hasn't come down with a falling sky or anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
You see a lot.
Good reference. He just quoted
We'll be saying farewell
himself.
for now at the end of this, on the way out.
That was pretentious.
I'm
But
sorry,
anyway,
we're doing really good. Usually, well, duh. Usually we talk over each other a lot.
No, we're just
Not
getting
much-
What do
started.
you mean?
guys.
What are you talking about? Is it-
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? It's
Really, that's the thing.
bullshit,
I can't
Joe.
even believe you said that.
Who decorated? This is really fun.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
but anyway, then we get ready for the show.
Oh yeah, then the show comes.
Right.
Josh usually shows up,
Shows.
and he thinks he's the show.
Don't give him that.
Great, you back in the back now. You.
That's why
But
people
yeah,
buy. That's why people buy tickets.
We all have our
Come
own
see me.
process of warming up. Josh likes to scream in the shower for 2 hours.
He doesn't enjoy it,
No.
but it's required.
Painful
It's
process.
required. Yes.
But yeah, I think there's really something about, getting on the stage not too prepared, where you know exactly what
Boy, he would know all about it.
you're yeah, I'm saying, well, no,
Do you ever
you
He's
have,
almost
This
missed
show
the
around?
stage.
you have to, for
Well,
me,
as
you
though
kind of
he's
have to
just
keep it
Phoning
light
it in the whole
and
time.
exciting, and like it almost like you're doing it for the first time and keeping that alive, even though we've played the show a few times.
I mean, yeah, that can get into all kinds of territories. It's another thing too with sort of live performance, and it sort of I think transcends music. Directing and filmmaking and all forms of art is this sense of sort of nuance in the beginnings of it, the excitement of doing something. And if you do it every single night, there's certain ways I think of keeping something alive and fresh and inspired. And I think with the way that we do it is we have the way the set is actually set up does that. Is like, all of these tracks that we play every night are completely different, and they're so highly nuanced that they're sort of jam sections. They're versions of themselves, which I think, it's just exciting for us every night as it would be for an audience. Even if someone's gone to every show on the tour, you're seeing something different every night, and it sort of keeps it inspired.
Yeah, because it may be the same song that you're playing, but it feels different every night, and in some sense, it is different every night, because you can never be in that moment, that very moment, at that same time again. It's only going to happen one time, and you those faces and those reactions and that celebratory spirit that has basically only happens just like in every insular moment, and you have to remember how special that is, and you can't fall out of love with it, otherwise there's no point. It's like you have to stay inspired. And for me, I just keep cranking out jumpsuits. I'll just another outfit, and that really helps.
Comic relief.
Quite a good bit. That wasn't supposed to be funny.
It was
No, I'm sorry.
funny.
But it's
Sacred the
amazing 'cause
thread, darling. I did it again. See, I'm telling you.
Wrote it himself.
Just wait till
Good
the
taste.
end. I mean, farewell for now.
Actually, an album campaign.
It's rigged. He wrote this. This is scripted, right?
It is 100%. Yeah,
All prompts
100%.
are up there.
Yeah. I love it though, because I think it speaks to the way you guys build relationships every night in different ways with the audience, with the fans, with your community. And so I'd love to know, as part of that, when you're touring, you're all over the world, you've got this incredibly different day-to-day lifestyle. How do you actually sustain relationships at home with the people who matter in your lives to keep that social connectedness?
Well,
They know what they signed up for.
Well, that's actually a good point. I think
Yeah.
for starters, they're all extremely supportive, and that's a huge factor in all of it. So they support what we do, and we obviously reciprocate that. as far as family goes, it's they travel out to as many shows as they can, and we love to have them and host them as many shows as we can. And it's just kind of about remaining in touch and keeping that communication going as you're traveling and sharing your experiences and not keeping everything to yourself. Which
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not easy. It's one of those other complexities of something, especially when you get into, I mean, and we haven't gotten into this territory of our lives, but children and things like of that sort. It's like you traveling a lot, and there's like the sensitive things. It's a complex sort of landscape to try to navigate. But I think with that is. It certainly helps. I think, especially being that we're all family, that we're all brothers, and that we sort of that there's this tight knit nature to what we do. So family, I think, is at the sort of peak of it. But I think keeping close together and keeping that world finite, because it's like us, and then the family that surrounds us, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty condensed, and
it's a very good point. We keep kind of a tight circle around our world, which is really horrible and insular. No, I'm just kidding. It's great because
it's shit, isn't it?
Everybody that we really regularly see really is considered family.
Yeah, I think it's about surrounding yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
And then the first thing I do when I get home is I throw dishes out in the kitchen.
Opa!
And that's how I basically live home.
You shop at IKEA a lot and buy a lot of dishes over and over. Yeah.
exposed.
Quantity
Those
over quality.
Those have been expensive
feels
just
good.
thrown around. That's ridiculous.
Well, it adds up, but it's worth it for the sake of
Sanity.
Sanity. For the sake of sanity, I'll crash a couple dishes.
So guys, I'd love to know, kind of building on that theme, you guys have really discussed before about how seeing the world through touring, kind of experiencing the world as you tour, has really changed the way that you create music, the way that it's influenced your later albums. And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about how that experience of travel and touring and seeing the world has really changed you personally.
It's hard for it not to have.
Yeah.
We grew up in a very, very small town in the middle of Michigan, and we were exposed to very little growing up.
What they call it, Mid-Michigan.
They call it Mid-Michigan,
That's the thing.
or that's about as creative
Very
as they
mid.
could get.
Yeah,
Very middle.
Very.
Very
Uh,
middle.
No, but we were in a unique situation where we essentially left high school and started becoming exposed to the massive world, and immediately started seeing other countries in Europe, and it's amazing because every time we came back from one of those trips, we felt like we had a different understanding of a different piece of the world, and it started adding up, and we could go relate to family and friends, and as you continue to follow through with that pattern, it starts to reflect in your personal creative, as far as music goes, lyrically, certainly. Any of those lyrics to add?
Not as of now.
We'll come back to that.
Yes, we'll definitely come back to that.
Yes, it is interesting. It's like, I mean, we talk about like sort of the idea of being an artist and sort of creating and using your mind in a way that I think a lot of people don't necessarily get to do because we're thinking outside the box, and that's good to apply to everything. But I think consciousness becomes a bit more, I think, dynamic. It becomes stretched when you consider ideas and philosophies and things that you had, and so the cultures, traditions, people, places, ideas, things, they all sort of add up to a total sort of sub-part of consciousness. And I think we evolve once you experience that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. But
Telepathy.
So many words, yeah.
But I think that helps, and I think that again, we talk about this and on all these artists sitting in the room, and on the idea of that is to stretch the imagination, and I think that for us, creating records and making music, seeing these cultures in the world in that way has just broadened our perspective.
Yeah, because you read about them or see them in pictures or things like that, but the actually being in those places and meeting the people is a huge deal. There's something about the tradition or the philosophy or the all of these sacred things to those places that sort of sink into